Hi guys, That Song Review Guy here, and yes, we're back. Charts of the past. This week we look at the 10 biggest selling singles on the 28th of February 1986. Kicking things off at number 10 is Manic Monday by the Bangles. The famed all-female American pop rock group that originated in 1981 and with a career spanning a quarter of a century, the group have 5 studio albums under their belt, 2 of which charted in the top 5 in the UK albums charts, and both have gone platinum. 5 top 20 singles, with this being their second most successful track, peaking at number 2, their most notable being their one and only number 1 hit Eternal Flame. Having reformed in 1999, the group now perform as a three-piece with original members Susanna Hoffs and sisters Debbie and Vicky Peterson. Manic Monday, originally written by Prince for the group Apollonia 6 before being given to the Bangles, is an upbeat fun pop rock track about the protagonist waking up from a pleasant dream, being wrapped in the loving arms of an Italian hunk before waking up and coming to the recognition that it's Monday. Beginning of another humdrum week of rushing to work, which she knows that she's going to be late for anyway, and desires for Sunday to roll around. Upbeat, catchy, melodic, it's an all-round fun track with plenty of charm, great instrumentation, complete with guitars, percussion and piano synth melody that is undeniably addictive. At number 9 is System Addict by 5 Star. 5-piece group consisting of siblings Delroy, Denise, Doris, Lorraine and Stedman Pearson were noted as one of the more flamboyant looking groups of the mid-80s, achieving 4 top 20 albums, their first and third achieving platinum status and their second going for 4 times platinum. 12 top 20 singles, this track in particular, their 7th and final release from their debut album Luxury of Life, peaking at number 3. The group are a Grammy-nominated act, as well as the winners of Best British Group at the 1987 Brit Awards. The percussion-driven song, complete with glitchy, stabbing staccato electro melodies, the dance pop song uses technology as a metaphor to describe the lead singer's desire to be intimate with her lover, likening herself to a piece of active machinery, and that she comes alive when she's touched by said lover. It's an interesting little number with a lively dance beat. It's got a good groove going, the vocals have a nice soul edge to them, and although the presentation of the electro elements can get a little annoying after a while, it's still a good track, and in my opinion, it's worth checking out. At number 8 is Don't Waste My Time by Paul Hardcastle. Composer, musician, multi-instrumentalist specialising in synth pop, electro, ambient, jazz, as well as a myriad of other different genres of music, Hardcastle initially started out as a keyboardist for dance music groups Direct Drive and First Light before starting his own solo career. The 34-year career behind him, which is still ongoing to this day, Hardcastle has over 30 albums to his name, but only 4 top 20 singles, with 1 reaching number 1 and this being his second most commercially successful track. Here, the female vocalist tells her ex-man that she's had enough of his deceit and constant lies and mistruths, that she outright tells him she's not going to listen to his BS and to no longer bother her anymore. Vocally, the delivery is solid, but this is a Paul Hardcastle song, so the instrumentation is always going to take centre stage. And needless to say, it's highly enjoyable. Along with great melodies, catchy electronic synthesizer hooks, beats and bassline grooves, this is a lively track with so much going for it. A superb piece of music, and yeah, the vocals aren't bad either. At number 7 is Love Missile F111 by Sigway Sputnik. This London-based new wave band, which formed in 1982, have a 13-year career behind them, with numerous splits in between their first formation to their last year together in 2004. The group released 6 studio albums, with their first being their one and only to go into the top 10. The first 2 singles reaching top 20, everything else failing to chart higher than 31, and that's about it. This glitchy synth-pop track, complete with a repeated bassline, multiple sound effects including bomb explosions, lasers firing, repeated syllables, and a sample of Stanley Kubrick's 1971 masterpiece, A Clockwork Orange. The song conjures up imagery of a futuristic wasteland after the result of a nuclear fallout, and it's definitely suggested in the lyrics, even if they are sparse, not particularly imaginative, well written, or have a great deal of effort put into them. But for mindless enjoyment, it's really not that bad. Yeah, it's unfocused, rather random in its sound choices, but it's not exactly a loathsome track. I can definitely get behind this one. At number 6 is How Will I Know by Whitney Houston. Born Whitney Elizabeth Houston in Newark, New Jersey in 1963, Houston is recognised as one of the most influential female solo artists of all time, as well as one of the biggest selling female artists ever. With an estimated 170 to 200 million records sold worldwide, winning more than 640 music awards, having been nominated for almost 800 awards throughout her lifetime, has a handful of Guinness World Records to her name, 5 of her 7 studio albums charting in the top 10 UK albums charts, has 29 top 20 singles to her name. She achieved an incredible amount in her 27-year career, and at 48 was tragically taken away from this world far too early. The song, originally having been written for Janet Jackson, paints the picture of Whitney's infatuation of a man she's obsessed with, but is unaware if he feels the same for her and is overcome with nerves and hesitation of finding out for herself. Complete with a catchy synth melody, bass line, electric guitar and drum beat, this is undeniably one of the 80s best floor fillers. As a dance track, it's infectious as hell, overflowing with dance appeal, and all brought together by Houston's incredible vocal delivery. But you all knew this was a great song, didn't you? You didn't exactly need me to tell you that. At number 5 is Burning Heart by Survivor. With a rotating lineup of over 20 people and with a career spanning a total of over 4 decades, with a break-up in between from 1988 to 1993, the group are famous for their number 1 worldwide smash, Eye of the Tiger, famed for its appearance in Rocky 3. Ironically enough, this track subsequently featured in the sequel Rocky 4, along with the track being the group's second most successful hit, one of only 2 to make the top 40 in the UK. The hard rock group had far more success in the US. The group have released 9 albums but have never really achieved the great successes as their earlier outings. Burning Heart ties in with the theme for the 4th Rocky movie pretty aptly, with lyrics that evoke the image of an all-or-nothing battle between 2 oppositions. The lyrics do have heavy emphasis on the Cold War with elements of the East versus West components, and centres around both sides' refusal to back down or give up and are willing to go all out for victory. Instrumentally, it's complete with electric guitars, bass, drums, synths and accompanying piano chords, and it's alright, but I can't help but feel that he tries so desperately to copy Eye of the Tiger but fails to do so. The song doesn't pack as much intensity, it doesn't have the same iconic introduction that sticks, and the vocal melody doesn't have as much passion. Even the outro feels kind of tacked on, and by then, it's too late. It's not terrible, but it's not exactly good either. It just simmers in the category of meh. At number 4 is Eloise by The Damned. Prominent in the mid-70s with a career spanning 40 years, this London-based gothic rock group, The Damned, which have recycled through a total of 24 members, including the late great Lemmy from Motorhead, this group are renowned for being one of the most influential punk rock groups of music's history. Although they may not have been as well known as the Sex Pistols, The Damned have 10 albums under their belt, 6 reaching the top 40, 9 top 40 singles, with this being their most popular, and in 2012 were awarded the Classic Rock Outstanding Achievement Award for contribution to rock music. Originally performed by Yorkshire-born singer Barry Ryan in 1968, going on to peak at number 2, the song reads like a dated 50s number. It's a sloppy and cliched-filled track about the protagonist's infatuation with a woman called Eloise, and all the hallmarks are there. Complete with synthesizers, guitars and driving percussion, it really doesn't pack any sort of emotion in me other than, well, that's 5 minutes of my life that I'm never going to get back. Not that the song's horrendous, but when the lyrics are this naff and copy and paste, it's tough to get behind something like this, and I doubt the original would do the same thing. I'll pass on this one. At number 3 is Starting Together by Sue Pollard. More commonly known in the UK for being an actress in many television sitcoms, to say that Sue Pollard's music career has been incredibly limited would be putting it mildly. With only 6 singles released to her name, and only one of those making it into the top 10, and one song credited as a reissue, and only having one album to make the album charts, peaking at number 86. Other than that, nothing else more can be said about her. The song, which was made for a fly-on-the-wall documentary back in the mid-80s called The Marriage, the lyrics relate to 2 newlyweds who are starting out their lives as a married couple, and that's pretty much the top and bottom of it. Backed by a synthetic string arrangement, church bells, keyboard, synths and drums, I can either take or leave this song, but I'd rather leave it. Pollard's voice isn't bad, but the cliched lyrics and lack of any real personality and flair makes this song particularly predictable and not worth any real investment at all. At number 2 is Chain Reaction by Diana Ross. With over 140 million record sales under her belt as a solo artist, and with her tenure with her group The Supremes, rock and roll inductee, recipient of the Kennedy Center Award, 12-time Grammy Award nominee, and recipient of the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012, Diana Ross's almost 60-year career boasts 24 solo studio albums, all bar 3 making any impact in the top 75, has 47 top 40 singles under her belt, has at least one top 10 track in the UK over the last 5 decades, and is the record holder for singing lead on a top 75 hit single at least once every year from 1964 to 1966, culminating in a total of 33 years. For people of my age, their first introduction to Chain Reaction would have been through the cover version given to us by early noughties pop group Steps, which peaked at number 2. The original, whilst it crashed in the US, went to number 1 here, and for good reason. It's a great song, relaying the story of falling for the charms of some male love interest, backed by buzzing synths, electronic drum beats, harpsichord and synth string arrangement. It's a strong piece of dance pop merged with elements of funk to boot. It stood the test of time, and that's what you want out of a song that's 30 years old. And finally, the biggest selling song on the 28th of February 1986 was When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going by Billy Ocean. Born Leslie Sebastian Charles in Fyzabad, Trinidad Tobago in 1950, Billy Ocean's 47-year career has been a highly successful one. Started from 1976, where his first release off of his debut album peaked at number 2, Ocean has gone on to claim 12 top 40 singles, this song being his one and only number 1 hit, has released 11 studio albums with only 3 cracking the top 10 in the album charts, all of them going gold, is a winner of 1 Grammy for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance, was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2010 at the Mobos, nominated for a Brit in 1987, was awarded an Honorary Doctorate of Music in 2002, and became a companion of the Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts in 2011. This song is perhaps his most well-known song universally. It's about Ocean's desire to be with his woman and is willing to climb every mountain and cross every river in order to be by her side. Okay, it's kind of corny, but it's delivered with such earnestness that one can't help but buy his genuineness. With a great bouncing bass line, brass arrangement, keyboard synths and electronic drum beats, it's an all-round fun track that doesn't wear out its welcome. Ocean's vocals also make the song appealing, which, to be honest, I can't help but feel that he actually deserved more than what he got. Sure, 12 top 40 hits is something that a lot of artists would love to have, and it's nothing to sniff at, yet the guy definitely deserves his place in British music history. And there you go, those were the 10 biggest selling singles on February the 28th, 1986. What do you guys think of these songs? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you agree with my opinions? Do you disagree with them? However you feel, leave your opinions in the comment section below. And say it with me now, I welcome all comments. And until next time, I'm That Song Review Guy, and take care.